But the instant Anivia hits that level 6, like you said, she gets that shoving potential. She can apply Frost regardless of the skill shot, and then she can start using the Ice Lance to do huge amounts of damage.
Looking at other aspects of the game, so bot lane, Varus, Thresh, pretty strong. You know, they have their strengths.
Very team fight oriented.
Yes.
Varus is not necessarily a hyper carry, not necessarily in the same league as like a Vayne or like a.
Let's look at it. He is the only carry in the game, I believe, with an area of effect, it's a crowd control effect.
Yes.
Yes. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
You're not going to see anybody else bringing that to bot lane.
Right.
Pretty sure Draven doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean, you do have things like Box, which arguably is a crowd control kind of effect, but it's not a hard kind of...
Yeah, it's not your ADC that's bringing it. And that's the whole thing about Varus. You're sacrificing the top-end sustained damage. You're shaving off that, you know, that hyper carry status, and you're trading it for this amazing team engage tool. Catching Morgana at the try, and that's going to be an easy first blood. A brutal invade.
Wow. That is, it's always
To be determined is looking sharp.
It's always really important at the beginning of the match to be very mindful of how fast you are getting to the point you need to get to.
I don't see any defensive pings going out for Lovely Princesses.
Zach might be caught out here, actually. If he goes the wrong way. Oh, he might get pincered here. And no, it doesn't look like he will be.
Supports on the bottom. Or, wait. Yeah, ADC. There's support there. Okay.
There we go.
So for those of you who are just tuning in, we have Lovely Princesses repping the blue side versus 2BeDetermined on purple. And we did get a...
What are they doing in the bot lane there? It looks like they're trying to catch some people out, but they've been completely zoned out of their red side jungle, and their Zac is nowhere near top lane.
This is a really curious where... They might be trying to catch the escaping bot lane.
Oh, and they're not going to be ready for the Zac just sitting in the bush there. Wow, and they warded that bush above, so they know exactly where the bot lane is coming in from. The Zac is waiting there.
No, he's recalling.
This could be the best
Zac,
idea.
Go, Zac!
Oh, and he gets flayed back. And
well, he did get the flash.
That's a pretty good play by the Zac, but he's really far behind.
At the forfeit of both. Oh, man. Okay. So Viagra did manage to take her blue. So she did secure a buff. It's not like she's going to have to fight Lee Sin at her blue buff all of a sudden.
She needs to go to red, though. I don't know if she's going to cross...
It'd be difficult to fight Lee Sin at red.
Yeah.
That's going to be scary, especially when he has her red.
So Vi is just going to do okay with being like, okay, you know, you can have both the reds.
You can have both the red. I'll catch up. There's more gold to be had in the jungle, and I can definitely make some plays with just Vault Breaker.
Now, this is interesting. Jace has the lane position advantage here against Zac, and because Vi started the blue...
Oh, excellent Dark Binding. But I like the Death Sentence follow-up, actually making it...
Oh, a pause. And this trade is going really well for the bot lane, for TBD right now.
For TBD.
Varus has put on a lot of damage onto Caitlyn.
Hoping we didn't see a power outage.
Varus has a strong power spike at level 2 because he has the ability to
do the Rain of Arrows.
Yeah, he has the ability to utilize his passive, or rather his auto attack aura effect. And so he's already stacked up 2 or 3 stacks on the Caitlyn, and he's stacking up on the Thresh. If they clump together and he uses a Rain of Arrows on them, that's going to chunk a huge amount of health.
It's also going to take out the shield.
Yeah.
Although there isn't much CC left. We already got hit by the Death Sentence.
Yeah.
And I believe Flay already went out, which is why she's slowed.
There still is the exhaust. And that's actually an interesting pickup in the bot lane. You don't see that too often.
I like how Defon he has some guts. He was like, all right, I got hit by Dark Binding.
I'm just gonna hook.
It didn't do, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. She doesn't have Puddle down.
Here comes the resume. We're going to see what happens with this initiation.
Oh, excellent. They actually did That was a great choice to target Caitlyn there, because she did have the most of the stacks on her.
Yeah.
So she was the target that was going to die the quickest.
That was interesting. Varus chose to go with the charge arrow rather than the snare. Oh, and another hook lands.
That was
goes down.
Excellent
Flash
dark binding. And we actually have Vi here in for support, and he does pick up the kill with that clutch Q at the last minute, but Vi does pick up the kill on Varus.
I really think that
that was good reinforcement by Viagra. It was really good. Well timed. And we have Lee Sin in here. Oh, misses the Q. That's going to be rough. He really needed to apply as much damage as possible to put Anivia ahead in the lane. Yeah,
and look at this lane advantage Jace has. He just has a better position, and he's got that range to harass down Zach. Zach is going to be scrambling to get CS, but while he is doing that, he's just getting poked down by the Jace continuously.
So that bot lane, that pause was really interesting because not only did it give them a lot of time to immediately communicate their new focus target, because you'll notice they switched right after the pause, but also Viagra was immediately changed directions. He knew instantly, I need to be bot.
Yeah, and was able to grab 2 kills off of it.
Yeah,
so,
he was.
I mean, still Varus with that early first blood, and then on top of that got the Morgana again. Is now 2-1. He's able to get a Vamp Scepter off of that.
2BeDetermined is going to be... They definitely are looking a lot better than any teams we saw last month in terms of fighting Lovely Princesses. You know, we've got Jace ahead in top lane. That's going to be... He's going to get a lot of gold from that farm lane.
Yep. Here comes Vi positioned in the back for a gank. Now, Vi doesn't have flash, but Jace smells something's up and actually moves
Excellent.
down. Wow, and look at that
jockeying around the wall there.
Very nice. Confuses Vi as to which direction she should go through, essentially rendering Vi useless in that encounter.
Yep. Completely nullifying.
Wow, and another binding lands.
Another great binding.
No counter hook. Lee Sin in the back. Here comes the Lantern.
And we don't see a hook go out. And seems to be an uneventful conclusion in the bot lane.
Now, Anivia has managed to get up to level 5 without too much trouble in the lane.
And here is Vi coming back around after that unsuccessful gank top. Looks like we also have Lee Sin coming in for reinforcement. Good flashing through the Vault Breaker. No parties level 6 here. Damage. It looks like... Ooh, excellent Q!
Wow.
The resonating strike manages to follow up the Shumpo and the flash.
That was a great play by the Lee Sin. And also by the Anivia.
Yeah.
I mean, Vi came in, Anivia flashed out of the Vault Breaker, didn't take too much damage. Anivia still has egg. And then on top of that, Anivia lands across Assault onto the Katarina, does a lot of damage onto the Katarina. Lee Sin arrives just in time to land that resonating strike. And as
he put Katarina at the health threshold where Lee Sin could solo kill her. Yeah. And that's all it took was the resonating strike.
Yeah. Yeah. And now Anivia is 6 with a kill on her belt. This is going to become a very tough lane for Katarina.
Katarina does have the option of hitting 6 and visiting a different lane.
Yep.
Definitely very viable. And that's what you see a lot of these snowball-type mids do. They say, hey, might not win lane, but I'll go win, you know, I'll get my gold somewhere else.
Yep. Right now, the danger is that Anivia will back, get a mana regeneration item, and then when that 7:30-ish minute mark comes around and Anivia picks up that blue, the mid lane is going to be under a lot of pressure all the time.
So Feeder Kifong has been, you know, he's received the rough end of a beating with the 2 deaths.
Yeah.
But I would like to say he's been pretty on point with Dark Bindings and Dark Shields.
He's been landing a lot of them and also protecting himself.
Right. You know, every time you see the hook go out, there's instantly a shield on Katarina, on Caitlyn. There's never really been, his ADC has never been at risk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. And very solid Morgana play there in the bot lane. And just the strength of a Caitlyn Morgana lane, once that Dark Binding lands, Caitlyn can just...
Free Peacemaker.
Yeah, for very long range, just chunk down.
And then we've got Lee Sin. It doesn't look like he's going to make a play in bot lane. Still hanging out in that bush, but they've got it warded. Yeah. So they know he's there. And looks like Viagra might be coming to meet him in the try. Still, no, just walking through the jungle.
Wow, and the warding right now for Lovely Princesses is actually really good. They have it in all the right spots, in all the spots that they need. And Vi is actually roaming very well.
Here comes Lee Sin coming for the back of the try, but Viagra is here to counter engage. And excellent ult on Varus is going to catch him. And they're going to attack a whole ton of damage on Varus here. And Thresh attempting to body block as much as he can. Does look like they managed to save. Oh, almost catch Morgana there.
Wow, and
Great timing for Viagra on the counter engage. That was pretty much perfect.
I really think that Feeder Jungle is doing really well in terms of her roaming, decision making. She's exactly where she needs to be at the exact right time. In combination with a warding from the support and that pink ward in mid lane, the Vi is exactly where she needs to be.
Right. This is the same kind of dominating play we saw at the last tournament. I love this early pink ward at the jungle entrance.
Yeah.
I mean, it cannot be said how much that 100 gold is more valuable at the beginning of the game because it's up for so much longer. Yeah. Additionally, because how much more scary like a jungle is when
the hook
excellent hook and just flash out. One tower shot was all what it took.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a dangerous spot for the Morgana.
A great hook, but did have flash. But now that it's down,
there's not going to be a flash Morgana.
Also down with exhaust. Caitlyn also down flash. Bot is prime for the pickings if Lee Sin decides to visit again. Although, you know, I'm confident that if Lee Sin is there, Viagra will be close enough to help.
Yeah.
He's made that point.
And there we see the benefit of the level 6 Anivia. Anivia didn't have to land the ice ball and still was able to chunk Katarina down. Even though Katarina Shumpoed away, still taking max damage from that. And
once again, Jace jockeying with Viagra and Jax there. He is
going to flash
flashes out of the Vault Breaker.
And in comes Lee Sin. He has a lot of strength on a Vi right now. Nice kick.
Viagra super low and Anivia coming in to clean everybody up.
Anivia really making the plays right now. Alongside Lee Sin, this jungle mid synergy is one to really compliment here. And how about that Jace? 2 times.
I know, just great. See, more critical even than just avoiding Vi is he gave time for his mid to show up.
Yeah.
He just so much time was spent walking around that wall that not only could Lee Sin show up, but Anivia could leave and pick up both of those kills.
Yeah, and a very fortunate situation for the Anivia. She didn't get all the kills. I mean, we saw how strong it can be in the last game when the mid lane picks up 3, 4 kills in a row.
Really early on in the game.
You really pick up a strong item, and then you have a point where the Anivia just cannot be stopped. You know, she has the egg, she has Catalyst.
It's probably not as important on Katarina, on Anivia as it would be on a champion like Katarina because Anivia has just such amazing wave clear.
Yeah.
She's pretty much guaranteed as much gold as she can ask for over a set period of time.
Right.
So she can give those kills to Jace or to Lee Sin, who can really capitalize off that early snowball.
Yeah. And right now, it really looks like TBD is in a comfortable spot.
We see him finishing the Manamune already.
And that's a really good pickup for the Jace. The earlier you can get that Manamune, the faster you're going to have the Muramana. And that's when Jace really starts to hurt. He just needs that. Oh, another hook lands onto Morgana. Here comes Lantern. Down goes the box. And instantly Lee Sin takes down the Morgana. Caitlyn now in trouble. Vi into the fight. She does have her ult. Nice Vault Breaker onto the Thresh. Now onto Varus. Oh my goodness. And Katarina comes in for the cleanup. There's the resets. With the flash, gets a double kill, and this is why you cannot hold down Katarina.
The feeder mid and feeder jungle synergy that became famous at the last tournament is seen in its full display of power, readily cleaning up in that counter engage.
Oh, man.
Once again, feeder jungle positioning himself for these ideal counter engage situations. It's worked out well for him. He's managed to turn back so many what looked like, you know, one-sided engagements are actually just bait and switches.
He is really playing well for his... Oh my god, Caitlyn's going to have to be careful. Wow, that's a lot of damage out of the
That's a lot of damage. That Roa.
Yeah, but Lovely Princesses does secure the dragon. Vi is really holding it down for her team right now.
One of the things that I managed to talk to Viagra about at the end of the last tournament was his particular strategy. You know, what his approach was. I commented, it's like, hey, you guys do a lot of disengaging and re-engaging. He's like, yeah, it's because it's really easy for a team to position themselves when they're given 3-4 minutes to do it. But when you give a team 5 seconds to reposition themselves, everybody messes up.
Yeah.
And that's where we can capitalize on poor positioning.
Push and pull their formation and try to poke
just kind of shake it apart.
Yeah. And we saw TBD doing some of that to Super Hawk Crew.
Yes, we did.
And
that's why we saw the Annie exposure and stuff like that.
They always picked apart their formation and then went for the Annie when the defense was a little weak.
And that's something Team Feeder is, really strong at. So I'm excited to see how they implement that when we get towards the mid-game phase, which is where they've shown their most dominating play.
Yep.
Either way, keeping the score even, they're going to have that mid-game.
They're planning another 3v1 in the bot lane, but Vi, again, is at the exact position she needs to be. Binding lands, but I think they're looking for the counter-initiate rather than going in on
They've
their
got
own.
tons of pings off on Vi. The ward does see her. I'm wondering if Lee Sin might just go deep.
Both the junglers have been spotted down in that bot lane, but I don't think anything's going to come of it.
Lee Sin deciding to stick around. Vi kind of wondering if she should leave or not, but here comes Katarina from the mid lane. If they do not leave immediately, they will just get dove.
And
see, they see her backing up.
Oh, here comes Jace. A lot of damage onto that Zac.
Zac having the roughest time of it. He's down 60 CS. Jace almost doubling him in top lane.
I really think this Jace has done so well snowballing, not really even the early lead, but the early decision that Zac made to stay in the bot lane. Just that small amount of difference and pushing Zac to his tower. He chunked him low and then just kept gaining a CS advantage on Zac. Until now.
It could even be accredited to just like that one early longsword buy from having that extra wave.
Exactly.
You know, that's the kind of thing that will make or break a top lane when it really comes down to the hairline statistics of stats.
And I mean, just look at the health difference between the Zac and the Jace. Oh my god, a lot of damage.
So much damage coming out from Anivia.
And there's not very much counterplay that Katarina can do unless she all-ins. This is a really good situation for the mid lane and the top lane for TBD, but the bot lane is really a lot of the focus of the junglers. And Feeder actually got the dragon off of
barely misses the corner of Flay there.
There comes the Peacemaker. And continue to just farm out and poke down. There we see the Anivia pressure. Mid turret already down. 50 minutes into the game.
We don't quite pick up a kill on Varus there, but we do force the disengage from Thresh. Lee Sin coming around for what looks to clean up the rest of the engagement. And he's just going to get some damage on Katarina here, Caitlyn there, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to 2v1 them. Meanwhile, Viagra and Katarina managed to find Anivia in the bot river. She was going to reinforce the bot fight.
It's a nice pick.
They caught her in the water.
Really showing the muscle of the Vi-Katarina combination.
It's,
you know, catch them out, shimpo on them, and just combo them.
I've found that you can always rely on feeder mid and Viagra to effectively focus a target and communicate, hey, we are going simultaneously.
Yeah.
You're never going to see them fail to initiate or engage as a highly functional cooperative team.
Right. So right now, it seems like Anivia is being shut down a little bit. She did get that mid turret, so that's a big boon for TBD.
She's still, I mean, Katarina does have the 3 kills. That's strong. She's got the haunting eyes and the sword boots.
That's a lot of penetration.
That's a lot of
penetration.
penetration.
Kind of a lot of the stat that you need on Katarina.
Because of the high base damages.
Yeah.
But, you know, Anivia is just, I still believe in the strength of the Ice Bird. She's got the tower. I think that's a really important because
Anivia,
are those 2 kills worth a tower is the argument.
She only gets stronger as the game goes on because her ice wall becomes more prominent. In the late game, that ice wall can really dictate whether a team fight is won or lost.
Or even if it happens at all, they can just completely stop a team engagement.
Walks past the pink ward, and Jace is down here to make a play on the dragon, but the dragon's 1 minute and 12 away. Looks like they're going to go for the
bot tower first.
Wow, and look at that poke from Jace. He's just doing so well
Here
for
comes
himself.
Viagra.
Oh, nice hook!
They do grab. There is I think they were looking to single somebody out with that ice wall. Viagra coming in, and she ults all the way to the back for Varus. A lot of damage coming out from Katarina here. And here come the resets.
Oh my god.
So much damage.
Oh my
from Katarina.
Goodness. And this is just the team fight strength of Katarina, really just showing that you're going to get me some kills, and then you want a team fight diving a tower?
I think it was, what really impressed me was how focused Viagra was. He really just dove through the entirety of the team because he stopped Varus from ulting. Didn't he?
Yeah.
Or wait, no, Varus' ult is on cooldown.
He blew through the formation. I mean, Jace was in the front, you had Anivia in the front, and then the instant that Vi ulted, it knocked Anivia's ult out of out of channel. Because the instant Anivia gets stunned or silenced or CC'd in any way, she stops her ult.
Right.
And so that wasn't snaring the whole back line of Lovely Princesses. On top of that, the Vi pushed away all the team members, making them retreat, allowing the Katarina to get in for a big team fight. And here comes another team fight.
We might have... Oh, there's a hook on Zach.
And it looks like they're just going to give away Morgana. They're not interested in fighting another time.
They took the dragon, and although to be fair, the value of that dragon is pretty much counteracted by the amount of farm those two are going to lose, especially with Zach being so far behind already. And they might actually lose their interior mid tower as well as a result of this aggression.
Yeah, the raw pushing power and the siege potential of TBD is really strong. We saw
they're
their
going to play to their
formation get
strengths.
broken last time.
Right.
By the Vi, but they're not in position to do this time around. And oh my god, she decides to fall breaker backwards. A very smart decision there.
I thought Jace whacked her for a minute. I was like, that was too fast.
Just gave her the golf swing with the hammer.
So, however, now they're going to be forced to retreat, and we might be seeing a counter push from Lovely Princesses on. They are pinging that mid tower.
I really want to see a strong Anivia wave clear using the walls effectively right now. And they should be able to hold this
They
tower.
have... you don't see a really strong dive by anyone besides Vi unless, you know, Zach decides
the splash there
purely body block. And there's the ult on Jax, followed up by the Q from
Here
Zach.
comes Katarina.
Doesn't quite get as much damage as she was looking for, but she's going to manage to pick up Lee Sin. Nope, does manage to safeguard out of the way.
God. That Lee Sin was like a pinball.
That was a little messy. You know, there's just... The fight was drawn into like 3 different areas, and the triangulation didn't quite work out. You had Viagra split up from feeder mid, and that's the core of their team fight, is let's identify a target, pick him up.
Right.
But Katarina wasn't able really to jump in quite as quick.
Here's the interesting thing about Katarina is that she's decided to go for the Seeker's Arm Guard, which means she's going for a Zonia's build. On top of that, she's picked up a Blasting Wand. Whatever the case is, she's signifying that she doesn't want to go for that DFG. Now, the thing about getting a DFG on Katarina is oftentimes you guarantee yourself at least 1 reset.
Right.
What this means is, let's say in that situation when they were diving mid, Katarina got the kill onto Jace. She got the resets. If she had the DFG, she could have continued getting resets. But because she opted to go for the Zonia's Hourglass, she didn't really have the throughput to do that on her own, and they were only able to come out with 1 kill, and then they got cross-killed without picking up the tower. The advantage, though, is now she has that Zonia's, she's really strong in terms of base strength, and now on top of that, she has the ability to dive in and then Zonia's and protect herself.
Zonia's is also doubly so effective on Katarina because you can get the resets during the Zonia's duration.
Right.
So you can say, oh, I'm going to dive in, Sinister Steel, and then I don't even need to ult. I can just Zonia's right now. I'll break their formation up. Somebody will die during the duration, and then I can Shumpo out.
Exactly. I can either Shumpo out or continue going in.
Continue going in, Sinister Steel again, now that everybody's clustered around me, and I can do tons more damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a strong pickup on the Katarina. It's just a difference in
priorities.
choice.
It's different priorities.
Right.
His priority is staying alive, sustaining the damage, and not deleting somebody.
Yeah. And on top of that, when she uses that Zonia's, it gives Morgana more time to get her ult out. I mean, oftentimes the Katarina might just blow up before the Morgana ult can pop, but because she has the Zonia's, she can survive for long enough to have that Morgana ult stun the enemy team, and then she can ult.
I also say it's a good pickup because they do have a lot of AD.
Yep. Here comes the poke from TBD. Will they be able to keep the tower
very
alive?
quick. They do trade the bot tower for the mid tower. However, it looks like Lovely Princesses is going to have a rougher time assaulting this mid versus the wave clear of Anivia.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, bot tower goes uncontested.
They do have dive potential on mid lane.
This is only evening the towers, though.
They're trying hard to... Here comes the Vial, and they go in onto the Jace.
There's the flash out, but the combination, the focus is very strong with Lovely Princesses as they effectively take out Jace and do manage to... Are they going to the inhibitor? This bot push is going deep. Look at a base race.
Uh-oh, a nice flash out of the binding, and yeah, I think it is going to be a base race. Look at that ice wall, and they're going to get inhibitor. If they get that inhibitor, this is in no way worth it for Lovely Princesses. Looks like they will be onto that Anivia, but she's going to egg farm. Meanwhile, the inhibitor is down already. And losing bot inhibitor at this stage in the game is so dangerous. We said before, the instant you get a bot inhib, that basically means a free Baron, because at a certain point in time, your team is going to have to go defend that bot lane, or else you're going to lose Nexus turrets.
Yep.
And losing Nexus turrets this early in the game, not a good thing. You don't have enough farm to really handle the super minions. It's a silly thing to say, but it's actually really true.
Yep.
You actually don't have enough farm.
Versus that 480 base damage siege.
Oh! Wow! Straight into the power shot.
Into the power shot definitely seals Morgana's fate. However, there's so many bodies here that Jace might have a hard time escaping.
Uh-oh, and here comes a cross kill on the inhibitor. Will they be able to get it? Anivia has respawned and is coming in with home guards. Lee Sin still very strong, and they're going to get onto the formation of Lovely
Jace here is
Princesses.
going to be outputting a ton of damage, and oh yeah, Viagra easily going to fall with Ignite on her.
This has been a very interesting situation for TBD. They managed to get the inhibitor, managed to save their own inhibitor, and now a Lovely Princess's jungler is dead. Could this be the Baron call? Everybody is low on Lovely Princess's side. And there's another power shot.
I don't think they have the levels, just like the raw items to safely do Baron.
This is a good point.
I mean,
they're not quite taking it, but they're going to go for it.
Usually you don't see Baron attempted until you're pretty safe at it, but...
Uh-oh. Vi is still dead for 5 more seconds. They won't have a smite.
A lot of damage coming out.
Oh my god, are they going to get this? Here comes Anivia from the back. Morgana has to peel off. And nice ice wall.
See, the danger of doing Baron when you're this young in the game is that you're going to leave yourself really low. But here comes Katarina, picks up a couple kills. We do trade Thresh for Morgana.
A nice flash by Caitlyn to secure the kill.
Yeah.
3 members do escape
So they
Baron
deleted
pit.
2 buffs.
Yep.
They gave up Baron, but they took away 2 of the buffs.
Yep. Meanwhile, though, the longer they chase, look at the bot lane. This is why that bot inhibitor is so important. If they keep them here, that could actually be good for them. It might even be advisable to suicide for this.
Yeah.
Instead, Lee Sin is going for the... Oh, and it does look like Anivia and Varus are going to bait their teammates back into the bait. They lose 1 Nexus tower. Oh my goodness. And
Let's just quickly survey exactly how much damage is being done bot. They do have still a Nexus tower at full health, but versus the siege minions, that isn't enough.
And meanwhile, Lee Sin gets the dragon, so they are getting a lot of the global objectives. 3 Baron buffs still up on TBD, and I just really feel like that trade was in favor of TBD. Just very heavily in favor of them.
Regardless of what happens in the Baron pit, the super creeps are what is going to win the game for them. That early Nexus, the early inhibitor is really, I mean, the inhibitor 20 minutes isn't super uncommon.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, that's not super uncommon. It's just that in this setting where teams are so, viciously defending the inhibitors,
yes,
that is going to be more rare.
Yes. They're viciously defending the inhibitors, and on top of that, they have the coordination to capitalize instantly on any lost objectives, any pressure that they have. The instant they took that bot inhibitor, they just, when they got the pickoffs they needed, took down the Vi, immediately moved to the Baron pit, and with a lot of efficiency, took down that Baron.
Lots of good rotations and split tanking it.
Yeah.
They didn't get too low.
Additionally, making use of that Anivia to its full potential.
Right.
That ice wall, zoning out the Caitlyn, pushing away the Morgana. The Anivia was really an integral part of the of securing that Baron safely. I mean, as safely as they did.
Both the ADCs at identical items and CS.
The only thing separating them is the kills and assists.
This is really, from my perspective, from what I can see, it's really just the top lane that was where this momentum is coming from. It's all this damage that they're able to do. Now, don't get me wrong, Zach has done a great job of, stunning and vaulting into priority targets and really locking people down.
Yeah.
It's just that it's supposed to balance out that the amount of damage you're supposed to be able to do during that CC is what makes it balance. But he doesn't have the items, he doesn't have the raw damage output, the survivability to contest Jace.
Yeah, and Jace is really just poking down the enemy line. Look at
this assault on
Morgana is already at 20%.
Completely forcing them out from under the tower. And this siege comp is Oh man, just this pushing Siege comp, definitely seeing the strengths of it.
And they've got the Baron buff too.
This is their time to shine.
And I think that TBD is really, I mean, all game long, even when they've died for it, they've just focused onto their team strength. Sieging, pushing turrets. We saw that they weren't scared. The Vi dived them multiple times. They weren't scared to continue.
Doesn't look like it's going to lead to anything
with that strategy. And it looks like they're going to clean up the Wolf camp and shift towards mid lane. Bot, it has an open inhibitor, but I don't know if they're going to choose a split push. They might want to stick as a group and continue poking down team feeder.
Missed hook, and let's see. What do you think?
Oh, look at that ice wall.
Oh,
nice.
Excellent disengage. Here comes Zach, and he flashes. Did he flash over the box? That's going to be a couple resets for Katarina as she moves in to just really clean up what's left of this engagement. And the Anivia egg
Actually,
dies.
A lot of members of TBD still alive.
They spent so much time killing the Anivia egg that Jace and Lee Sin were able to chip them down. That was rough.
And Lee Sin still into the backline.
But
doing a lot of damage.
is going to be able to clean up Lee Sin. And oh my gosh, you might actually grab Jace as well with the Peacemaker.
Flash over the wall.
Oh, no, okay.
And that was an interesting exchange.
I think that was, if you look at it, Lovely Princess was facing a team that had Barons on 3 of their characters and a superior sieging comp.
Yeah.
So their ability to break a siege situation actually just showcases their skills as players.
Yeah.
Because not only were they in a disadvantage comp-wise, they were a disadvantage buff-wise, and I'm pretty sure they were at a they're about on par items and levels.
Yeah.
But that was a tough situation for them. They turned it around. Really well played.
I really feel like TBD in that team fight had the advantage. Despite the fact that the Katarina did a lot of damage early on in the team fight, the AD carry was still at full health, Lee Sin was still at full health, and Jace was still in the back line shooting power shots. I feel like they had a good setup to have a strong team fight. They picked down the Katarina, but then they dived a little bit too hard, lost to Lee Sin, and then Jace had to run away because Katarina was just doing too much damage in the back line. Varus was zoned out by the inhibitor turret, and they ended up not being able to capitalize on what could have been a very great situation.
It was definitely tough for Lovely Princesses, especially trying to secure that kill on the egg.
Yeah.
Because it took a long time to kill the egg. And it was so long, in fact, that like 2 power shots went off and completely changed the health spectrum of the fight. So, but they couldn't afford to just back off and let her just use her passive like that, because then what was the point of diving her in the first place?
It's a very complex team fight, and one thing that Varus did really well, we saw, he backed away from the Vi at the exact correct range. Vi was holding that Vault Breaker to see if she could catch Varus, but Varus actually backed away at the exact moment that Vi came in. He knew that the Vi wanted to jump onto him.
All right, we've got Baron and 35, and both teams definitely looking to set up for either a Baron or a bait or an engage. We might actually see a fight go out before Baron even starts.
Yep, and it looks like the counter-warding advantage.
We have Zach split pushing bot. So this would be a 4v5 if the fight does happen. Or Zach does have TP, never mind.
Zach will be able to join in the fight when he does his iron. They're going to shove mid, so they're not going to be able to...
I like this. I like the move towards mid. You discourage the Baron. Because, hey, you can take my Baron, I'll take your inhibitor in a Nexus turn. Yeah,
and now they're in an awkward spot. They might get caught here. Ooh, wow.
Ooh, good jukes. Dodge the hook.
And it looks like they're not going to push into any particular lane. Anivia now back from the fountain. He does have home guard, doesn't catch anybody out. That could have been really dangerous if he caught Morgana.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah, Morgana doesn't even have flash. And she's really the only one who has trouble getting across that wall. Caitlyn can net, Shimpo, you have
Vault Breaker, the Siege. Yeah.
So Morgana is definitely the one that could be picked off by that wall.
I like how they transitioned over to Dragon really quickly. They knew, hey, we can finish Dragon before they can even get to Baron.
They just pulled TBD around the map. And TBD unable to successfully secure a Baron or win a team fight.
Now Zach is no longer... he's serving his role. He's got the health. He has the defensive stats required for him to dive in and ult, and it's all he really needs.
Yeah, he can do his role. I mean, he can't do extra beyond that, but he's tanky enough to fulfill his purpose in the team comp. And we're seeing the benefits of that right now. He's just kind of not really an optimal target choice. TBD really wants to poke the enemy team down right now. Lovely Princess is not giving them really the opportunity. They're moving around the objectives very well, trying to keep themselves away from that situation where they get caught defending a tower. And Baron Pit isn't particularly the best place for TBD to fight, especially if they're all in that Baron Pit, because one of the things that they rely on in team fights is Varus being able to kite away indefinitely, is Jace being able to back off and shoot power shots from distance.
Right. And you're not going to get that with Morgana ulting for their teammates. They're going to have to blow flash to get over the wall. They don't have, like, outside of Lee Sin, none of their characters have really strong movement tools.
Yeah. And so that's going to be a big issue if they go for the Baron. They don't want to actually do it. They want to stick to baiting it. They just want to pose like they're going to start Baron, but they don't actually want to start it until they have a definitive advantage.
Well, also by jockeying in this way, they're forcing Lovely Princesses to at least show face near Baron, because if Lovely Princesses says, hey, we're going to go somewhere else, then they're in a position to take Baron.
Yep, definitely. And that's the advantage of being able to push the lane up this far. They have the control of the map to shove mid lane up a certain distance away. And they might just go for the bottom inhibitor, actually.
It is back up. They might want to re-secure that advantage that got them the first Baron, is the super creeps. So they might be saying, hey, you know, last time we got the inhibitor, we got the super creeps, since that's what we needed, and we were doing really well.
And this should be an easy grab for them, the inhibitor, because Team Feeder basically needs to all in the instant they get on the inhibitor, because there's no turret doing pinging damage to TBD.
They really just need to fight it out. Lee Sin tried to block it, but...
Here comes a TP on the side of the ward. Oh, and a Vault Breaker to get into the Varus there.
Zack's ult going off. Does manage to split Lee Sin away from his party, but Safeguard does re-secure it. And just so much damage coming out from Anivia and Jace. It's not going to be advantageous for them to... Oh my gosh, this is really rough for Lovely Princesses.
Very messy team fight from Lovely Princesses, and really showing the strength of a siege comp right now. They disengaged, pulled back, and then on the retreat, they just took so much damage.
They acted as like a moving, like a wall.
Yeah.
They were just like a wall with guns coming out of it, and they were just shooting damage while backing up.
And that's exactly why they can't fight in the Baron Pit. Imagine if that fight happened at the Baron Pit. There would be no space
to back up.
TBD to back away like that. But in the long bottom lane, they were just able to run backwards and then push forwards again once Lovely Princesses decide to retreat.
That was actually the best place I think they could have engaged, because they wouldn't do so well if they were to split in. There's a lot of damage on Varus there, but the hook. So much damage coming out from Anivia. That's going to be a secured kill on.
That is the living example of a DFG-less Katarina.
Yeah.
That is what happens. He's really unable to pick off that Varus. I mean, that would have gone much differently if Varus had died.
True. She could have Shumpo to the raids, or to a ward.
Or she could have at least taken down, like, maybe the Thresh even.
Viger gonna put some damage on Lee Sin here.
Binding on the Varus. Here comes Jace trying to do some damage.
Katarina's easily gonna be able to dish out what's required to clean up this fight.
Oh my goodness, and a positional
error damage going out.
Whoa, Lee Sin does so much damage. The GA pops, and Anivia is here to assist Jace, and they're not gonna be able to finish a kill. And they're gonna look to initiate. There's a nice flay. And here comes Anivia.
Excellent Black Shield blocking the stun.
Lee Sin gives him the boot.
He just has Thorin's Blade. That's all he needs.
My God, does this Lee Sin ever die? He's been at 1 centimeter of health for the longest time.
There he is. Feeder top managed to kill, but Morgana gets sniped by Jace.
Here comes the reset bot.
Feeder mid once again, feeling the terror that is trying to do anything inside of Anivia's field.
Power shot. Is he shooting home? He
doesn't quite get it.
Wow, and that was an interesting initiation. At first I thought, geez, they made a positioning error, and Lee Sin got caught out. You know, he got really low, but all of a sudden the Vi just died. And then from then on, at like 1 sliver of health, Lee Sin went on to kill a Caitlyn. Even went down on a Morgana, but he ended up not being able to finish that kill. Morgana ended up dying to his teammates instead, but my God, that Lee Sin is tanky. He has a Thornmail, he has a Sunfire Cape, he has a Banshee's Veil.
And the Fist.
Yep, and an additional Giant Spell on top of that. Yep. I was not expecting that.
And just building full damage. And, you know, normally a lot of people would say, oh, well, Vi, you know, doesn't care about health values because of denting blows. But she still needs time to sit there and chunk people away. And you're never going to actually lock Lee Sin down that long. You know, that's something like, oh, I need to kill Nasus or I need to kill Mundo, right? And unfortunately for Jace, he doesn't quite have the damage, as in like the post-late game. Yeah. You know, you're going to start seeing these power shots slowly chunking less and less health.
Yeah.
So his overall power level is going to slightly scale back. We might be seeing... And also, Zach is going to be able to catch up. Because it gets to a point where he can only buy 6 items.
Right.
And
I mean, he's reaching the peak of his item strength right now. He only has 1 more slot, and that's probably going to be a Bloodthirster. Beyond that, he's already got all the armor penetration he's going to get. He has that Muramana. Oh, and the Morgana is the only one who cannot be walled out, and she gets walled out.
That is tough.
Oh, and could this be a free... I actually don't know if I agree with this decision here by TBD. I think they're better off continuing to poke, but let's see how good the Thresh zoning will be.
Thresh here pulling the fight apart. Let's see. They're not quite done with the Baron yet, though.
This is a very tense situation. Vi gets stunned, and I think they will get this Baron for free. Oh, no.
Vi took so much damage walking through Anivia's field that she actually died mid-ult.
Yeah. I have never seen that happen, actually.
She died mid-ult.
Oh, and look at how huge that wall is. This is Anivia's Terra late game, and really just picking off the Morgana,
so
picking off the Caitlyn.
This ace, I see a double inhibitor and possibly just the Nexus.
They might just go for the Nexus here. Only Morgana is live, and they're just going to go straight to it. They need to kill an inhibitor.
Straight to the inhibitor.
They're going to go bot lane, and they're looking to end the game now. And there's not much, oh my god, that the Morgana can do. A nice flash there, but oh.
Lee Sin, with all of those tanky items, easily going to suffer the Nexus turret.
Look at TBD. I mean, they had a clear game plan. They executed it. They stuck to their guns. They never strayed away.